Okay, so today I want to talk about depression, last day of depression. Why I'm saying last day of depression? Because there is some things that I want to share to all of you which will make sense. And I would like to start with the thing that there's no such thing as lowest phase of life. We all believe sometimes that we are in the lowest phase of life. We think our life can't go wrong than this, or we feel like extremely helpless. We are in a stress, we feel like we can't move, we feel like we're stuck in the mud, we can't grow, we can't change things, we don't have motivation or energy to do things that we love to do, that we used to love to do. And there is this kind of feelings, it's faced by many people, thousands, millions in a world. And we all face that, and I face that. I face that, the kind of feeling that I don't want to see the tomorrow sunrise. I was literally in depression. Uh, I think it's funny because I was saying it's a depression and it is making things worse. It's not getting any better. I thought I was in the lowest phase of my life. Then things happened that makes me believe that that was a great time. I know, like when you move to the past, I mean, when you move towards the future, when you spend our time, we feel that when you look in the past, many times we feel that, oh, that was a good time, or like that was a good time than the present. But the reality is, the past is also sometimes or many times bad as well. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying that when I say myself that this is the lowest phase of my life, I have no idea what's coming next. That could be the worst. So never say to yourself that this is your lowest phase of life. There's no such thing as lowest phase of life in life. There's no such things. Neither there was highest phase. I'm living the life. I think there's no such thing as well. The first thing to understand is there's no lowest phase of in life. And I think the second most important realization to understand is having the idea or the understanding of the inaction and the consequence. What do you mean by that? What I mean by that is when we are living in this world, we are playing a game called life, and we have no option to opt out. We have to play this game until death comes. And I think inaction has the massive consequence, like the actions. We see that when we do such things, there will be consequence, and I have to face that consequence. But inaction is also an action. There's no such thing as inaction in fundamental, because even if you don't do anything, that's something. You have to breathe, you have to play the life, you have to live a life, and that is a game you are playing. And there is no inaction on that. You are living consistently, you are living continuously, and that is the game you are playing. And there is no such thing as inaction. So the concept of nihilism vanishes away because you have to play this game. I understand that you might believe there's no inherent meaning on this, but if you don't play, you will face consequence. You have to face the consequence. You have to understand and accept that you are playing a game called life. And you might be sad, you might be happy. That's on your own to figure out. That's on your own to figure out that are you enjoying or not. I mean, most of the times I can understand that there is a thing when we truly feel that we are lost, we cannot move from this, and this is our baddest phase in our life. But most of the time, it is our own narrative, our own understanding, and the interpretation of the story that we are living on. We humans make stories. We humans like to believe based on our own biases. Successful people has their own biases. So does the unsuccessful people. Rich people has their own biases. So does the poor people. Hardworking people has their own biases that hardworking people can get anywhere, and some lazy people have their own biases that there is no such thing as free will. I mean, like, we will all make stories based on our things. The greater understanding is to accept that we are playing a game and we have to face the consequence of our inaction as well. Not just the action. Inaction is a massive action that you are taking. Doing nothing, for example, you are running a race and doing nothing. That's a big thing. You are supposed to run the race, but you are doing nothing. For example, in the Olympics, that will be crazy. That will be different. That will be an action that will have the consequence, and that is the understanding we need to have, and I need to have. And so this is my personal video. So what I want to say to myself is there will be no depression for me. This is my last day of depression. I'm ending it because most of the times it's our own narrative that keeps us behind. And I understand and I have a massive respect to the people who are facing hard times. But believe that there is a hope, there is path, there is choice you can make. I know, like, it might feel I can't move forward but the race is not against anyone. The race is not to being healthier, wealthier, wise, or being the richest person. The goal is to move forward with peace. The goal is to get better. The goal is to get better understanding, better health. The goal is just to get better. The goal is just to move with peace. And when I say peace, don't get confused because there could be peace in chaos as well. What I mean by peace here is your ability to appreciate the life as it is moving. For example, I was working 7 days, 10 hours a week, but I'm loving my job. From outside perspective, it might seem chaos. If I do the job which I hate for like 3 or 4 days, I will be burned out. That will be crazy. But if I do things that seems to others, which is really chaos, but you are living and you're appreciating that part of life as well, then you are peaceful, then you are moving. And also, I think everyone can do hard work. Everyone, even the laziest person can. Most of the times, it is our own narrative, own habits, and habit can change. We can change our habit. I think this is some kind of understanding we all need to have to move forward. And I hope I move forward with good intensity, good attitude, and I hope all the people in the world does too. I can't change the world. I don't need to change the world. If I start to change myself, if I start to manage myself, if I can make things better for me, if I can think differently, if I can help others, that's more than enough. Obviously, there's no limit in anything. There's no limit to anything actually. So you just have to keep moving and don't worry about being number one, richest, wealthiest, healthiest person. You just have to move forward. You just have to rise. You just have to see the life. You just have to experience the life. That is important. And when I say that, we all have the desires to be rich, desires to be healthy, and that is perfectly normal. I think it is really essential to understand the desires, where it is coming from. We need to interrogate. Sorry, my English is not that great, but what I mean to say is we need to be self aware about the thinking that we are thinking. That's called metacognition, okay? So we need to be able to do that. We need to be able to find the root cause of the thoughts. We can't control our thoughts directly, but we can see thoughts. We can change the direction of thoughts, and that is really crucial. So I don't want to take this video too long, but I think I present the main facts, main things that I need to do. First of all, depression is mainly, I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, depression is a serious issue and it needs to be treated. It deserves to be treated with professionals. But most of the times, what we call depression is basically our own narrative, our own, what is this, bad habits, collection of bad habits, and negative thought pattern. So we need to rise above it and never say you are in depression. You are moving in your life, and that's perfect, and that is super important to everyone. I hope everyone who's watching this, I know nobody will watch this, but I love you all. Thank you. Take care.